stride.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mortgage and Real Estate Podcast, where you can find current and relevant mortgage and real estate information to make smart decisions for residential and investment properties. My name is Chris Giannino, and as usual, I am joined by Pete Giannino, who also happens to be my brother, a licensed loan officer, a real estate attorney, and a contract specialist. Today, I'm also joined by Bill Lally, my brother-in-law, a licensed loan officer, and a business mastermind. Today, we are going to talk about a one-time close new construction loan with a 5% minimum down payment requirement, including the land purchase. I think this is a game changer. Bill, Pete, great to be with you boys on this beautiful day. How's it going?
Great, Chris. Glad to be here.
Yeah, always glad to be here. It is a beautiful day out here in Wildwood, Missouri. We're in the trees, as they say.
Yes, I love being out here.
Gorgeous out here.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
It's great to be in the woods this time of the year. You know, I mean, you don't have any bugs, any ticks. You could just get down to it and start chopping down trees, which, you know, I mean,
there's just so many waterways out here. There's so many creeks. The whole thing about the elevation, I guess the elevation or what am I trying to say? The ground.
The landscape.
The landscape. It is just, it blows my mind every time I'm out here. It is probably the most rugged landscape that you can come across that still has life, you know, without like rocks everywhere. And it is like the elevation on some of these steep, like mountainous, truly like mountainous Missouri hills.
Well, you take a great route out here. Your drive out here down Wildwood Creek, Wild Horse Creek.
It's the best.
That's the best route from Chesterfield to where we're at, like
Austin, Fort
Melrose. That's the greatest route.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, it's not far from the city, and I'd like to say it's not far from City Park. Let's be real, like that's the city now.
That is the city.
Yeah, like that's pretty much. So it's not far from City Park, but it blows my mind every time I come out here to think, you know, I mean, Chesterfield is beautiful. It's still very busy, and it's a very busy place, and which is good for them. But this is like 5 minutes from Chesterfield.
Yeah, it's really spectacular.
You know, and you're into farms, and you're into there's horses everywhere, and really, really cool. And especially in the winter. I was talking to you about that. In the winter, you get a whole nother perspective of the trees, and the woods, and the creeks, and the water, and all that. So great to be out here. Talking real estate, get down to it.
Yeah, well, I say that leads right into what we're talking about. I mean, if you know, the market that we're in right now, it's tough for some home buyers to find the house that they're looking for. Now, we talked on the last episode about different ways and strategies to win those contracts, but this is a whole nother element to that. If you did have a piece of property that you already owned, or say you didn't own, but you knew what area you wanted to be in, this one-time close new construction loan is an answer to that. It used to be you needed 30% down to do a construction loan, and then you needed to close on that loan, and when the home was completed, you needed to then obtain permanent financing. And you got two sets of closing costs. The terms could change. You may not qualify by then because it's a 10 to 12 month process typically to get a home built on a custom build. But with this product, it's unbelievable. You can find a piece of property and make the purchase with a minimal down payment, just like you would on an existing home for 5% down.
Right. I mean, that's one of the big differences. Something that I did kind of a build anywhere program, you know, a little less than 10 years ago. And it was the type of thing where, and that was a great option, but the builder would actually purchase the property. If you found a lot that you liked, the builder would actually purchase the property, and you had to give them 10% down, and they would start, you know, and that was pretty good. Not a lot of builders do that. in fact, the one that I use doesn't even do that program anymore for several reasons. It's not like they're still crossing their fingers on closing that loan at the end of the 6 months and making sure that the buyer is still in a position that they can buy. And one of the biggest things about this is that, especially right now, when you're dealing with purchasing a new construction home that's got 6 months away, well, you don't have to tell the people that started their process last August or September that rates went up from when they first put that contract in, and they're not in the loan. Rates went up so substantially that maybe they wouldn't even done it at that time. So that creates, hopefully not where they can't get approved anymore, but it absolutely could happen like that when the rates go up through the construction process. This alleviates that because you're going to close on the day before it's even ground's broken. You close on that loan and that's it. So rates can go up, but you're locked into that rate already. It's a one-time close, so you're locked in. You pay interest only, up all the way up to 12 months of a construction process. After that, you have to get requalified. But the thing is that if it's in that under 12-month process, you're closed. Doesn't matter what happens with anything. The builder's going to get his money for finishing the project. Agents are paid right when it's closed. So that's before the project's even starting the construction process. Agents are paid, the broker's paid, the builder's paid his initial
and the rate's locked in
amount, and the rate's locked in. In this environment, I know a lot of people who are worried that they started the construction process 8 months ago. They're worried right now because they didn't have that factored into the cost. They might have to be cutting corners or not getting the upgrades that they wanted because they need to save on the amount of interest that they're going to be charged that they weren't factoring in before. This is just you're going to know what you're going to pay on that first time. The biggest thing too that people, and it's going to take a while for us to get people to really understand how big this program is, but you can find a lot. You can finance the lot in this construction, so you don't have to. A lot of times before, you would have to think, okay, I need to go find a $50,000 lot or $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 lot, and I have to own that before I start the building process. We can do it in one shebang.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes, so you're going to go in, you're going to buy the lot, and you're going to get approved with the site plans of building on that lot. So it's going to take some steps of a general contractor that are, finding general contractor that is used to building homes for people, and preferably they're going to have homes that they've done before. So it's not like kind of start at square one. You can start at square one. It's just going to take a lot longer. But there's going to be general contractors, home builders that have homes that they have names to their homes, and you can have slight variances to them. But the site plans are already done. The construction costs are already known. So we can submit that for approval with the permits that are needed to build, and you can get locked in before you start building.
So
huge things. Inventory helps. Inventory, maybe, all kinds of different factors.
I mean, let's say, let's get down to
We'll probably do it.
The practicality and how this can be achieved. First of all, we provide this loan, just so you have a reference. But Pete, Bill, let's go through what are some advantages for the home buyer. How does this help home builders? How does this help realtors? And then what are the steps to get me from, okay, I want to do it, to my home's completed and I'm moving in?
Yeah.
Start with the first one.
Yeah, let's back up because, again, what Chris said is at the beginning, we're talking about one-time closing for new constructions. That's what we're talking about real specifically. Previously, it used to be that you'd have to get like a one loan for the land only, and then when it was time to build, then you get another loan, and you have to find a contractor that'll either finance the work or one that had you set up with a different bank who would do draws. But like Bill said, so this product is new and creates some certainty for everyone involved. We'll start with the owner, the prospective purchaser. I think the biggest thing is, like Bill said, certainty. You understand you understand what's involved from the finances, which is really the critical component, of course, when building. You understand that right at the outset, and you're closed on the loan before a shovel's in the ground. This is really a big deal. I mean, this is really, in our industry, especially in a market highlighted with low inventory. One way to create inventory is to build a home. And if you were thinking the market's uncertain, or you don't know what it takes to get a land loan, followed by a construction loan, followed by permanent financing, well, this product is the answer. We're really excited to be able to offer it. So for homeowners, certainty is one of the main. I know that's not very tangible, but it's very important, having that certainty.
And that pretty much is for everybody: the builder,
Yep.
agent, loan officer. Certainty, it's
Yeah,
done.
because
It's
you can find your piece of property, you get the builder lined up, and you can close, and you could do that whole process within, probably 45 to 60 days, and maybe sooner, maybe quicker, but 45 to 60 days, you can do that. I mean, the locks are typically, we don't lock them on longer than 90 days, because once the loan's locked and the loan's closed before construction even begins. So that speaks right to that certainty piece. And
well, one thing to add is that it also, and it's a huge thing to add, and we're going to have to repeat it for weeks, because it's going to get somebody's wheels turning when we connect the dots for them enough. But it can be used for an investment property. So these people that are out there that want to invest in real estate, but they know how difficult the market is to win deals, you can purchase with the one-time construction loan. You can purchase the lot and all the construction, and close on a home that is an investment property that you will be renting out.
or a second home. Now the down payment requirements would change a little bit, but for the primary, you could do it with 5% down.
Right, and it's the same with same guidelines will apply for probably 10% down for a second home and 20% minimum for an investment property. 25% is recommended for investment properties.
You could also use this for a tear down. You could do a tear down and use it. You could use it for a piece of land that you found and you're going to build on it. You could use it as a tear down. You could use it if you want a bigger plot of land to build a house on it.
In an environment where things seem to be more restrictive and maybe one in which there are more obstacles, this one is really a door opener.
It really is.
If you think about a $700,000 home that's only on paper, with not no walls or no foundation, and you just need to have 5% down. That's pretty incredible. 5% down. I think that will change the landscape, to use Bill's word again. That will change the landscape of how people view opportunities for new construction.
Right, and we have several builders that we work with and several general contractors that we work with, and we suggest that you can open up the phone book and you can look and you can vet them yourself, and that's fine to do. But if you want to save some time, just reach out to us, tell us your plan, and we can help line up everything for you for this type of loan. and you can compare them to the people who you found. You know, it's one thing I think that becomes like this. What stops you from doing it is thinking about, well, where do I start? If you have the idea that you want to build a new construction house and you want to have the freedom to be able to buy a lot and build that house where you want it, if that's your plan and that's what you want to do, your first step would be to call us. Call us at Pinnacle. 314-497-5037 is one way to reach out to myself. You can go to our website. You can reach out to Chris Giannino, Pete Giannino, any of us. But just get a hold of Pinnacle and tell them, what's your plan.
Yeah, and I think that, like I said, the buyers are a big winner in this because they do have flexibility. They're not restricted to, if they want new construction, to having to build in a subdivision on a lot that, there's already 20 people that already picked their lots. You're the 21st, and it may not be the ideal lot that you want. In this case, you can hand pick your lot. There's also a rate float down option. So we lock in your rate, and then during that 6, 7, 11-month construction period, we can float down that rate if rates do happen to drop during that period of time. There are a couple of stipulations with that, but certainly you are able to take advantage of a lower rate if it does drop before the construction loan converts into the permanent financing. And also the builders, you mentioned the builders. The builders can, if you did have your own builder or whatnot.
Or if you are a builder listening.
Yeah, if you're a builder listening, we can get builders approved through this program in 2 to 3 days turn time. So we have them fill out a very simple form to a vetting process for the builder, and within 2 or 3 days we would have them approved and we would have the project rolling. So and the builders also, Bill, Pete, if we want to get into the next, just so we can touch on a few things, we don't want to make this an all-day thing, although we could talk about it all day, but for the advantage to the builders as well is the builders don't have to have a huge financing cost when it's time to get all the supplies for their build, because the payments are made as each phase is completed. So the builder takes draws from the lender as each phase gets completed. So it provides the builder with financing throughout the project, and it also provides massive opportunities for builders because they can work with clients and customize a build.
I think ultimately it's going to give the buyer's going to get a better deal if it's financed by the buyer, as opposed to if I was putting up the money, I'm going to put some markup for that risk.
Well, you talked to many builders before we did this podcast to feel them out on this program and product. What type of response were you getting from them?
I think it was this was a very effective program in like the 90s or so, and they were saying they used it a lot. And at one point, Fannie Mae took away the ability to purchase the lot on the loan, and that's what stopped the one-time construction loan from being really something that's workable and doable. So they had to figure out other avenues, and the avenues that they figured out was they were either self-financing the construction loan or, and this brings me back to, I think you're going to get a better deal by financing it right off the bat as the buyer. They're going to be getting loans for the construction process, and they're going to be getting loans where they don't know what. Most of the construction loans are all adjustable rate mortgages. They're all kind of going to go with, and as we see, the Fed rate has been steadily going up. They're not showing too many signs of reversing, although when they don't show the signs of reversing, that's when I'm thinking it's about to reverse.
Right.
But I mean, how could you, if that's the thought process.
It levels the playing field. It gives general contractors more freedom to build unique dream homes for their clients rather than cookie cutter developments.
They're going to charge you. A construction company especially if the construction company is getting a loan for that construction, they're charging you anyway. All the interest that they're accruing, they're charging you everything. They're charging the risk. You know, again, if I'm putting up $500,000 for a house that's going to be ready in 6 months, and all I have is like 10% of skin in the game, with nothing really guaranteed in the contract, but you lose your job, you do whatever, you never know. I'm going to add a lot into that cost of that project, passing it on to the buyer to make sure that I'm covered. Because maybe some aren't going to work out, and I'm going to have to hold that loan longer, or whatever.
But the positive effect of this, it's extensive. I think it helps the consumer in so many ways because it makes more builders enter the market.
I agree.
More qualified builders, creative ones that maybe just weren't in a position to absorb that risk. They are going to be the talented ones that have been sitting on the sidelines, maybe trying to make steady income in another way, but really have their passion in home building. Those people are going to reemerge, and then we're going to see better quality products, rising inventory. Banks have solid collateral on their investment. It has a trickle down effect for so many people, and then of course people in our industry, in the mortgage industry, and realtors. Everyone's going to have more opportunities from this.
Yeah, I can't get over just in my head right now thinking about if I didn't have if I knew how to, which I do, I just haven't done it ever full time or anything like that, but if I was to actually be a general contractor and that was my job, and every day I was getting different subcontracting, different crews to come in and do the concrete, do the electrical, do the trusses and the labor and everything else, if I was doing that without the risk of putting up all the upfront money to it, there's no doubt that you're going to get a better deal. There's no doubt in my mind, just thinking about it, and this is the first time I ever thought about it like that. Think about it, if you were doing a project, right? I mean, if I was out doing a project for somebody and I was like, hey, will you build me a house? And I'll give you 10%, and then I'll give you the rest when you're done. I'm adding a lot.
A lot more risk.
A lot of risk.
Well, look at what just happened with the supply chain.
Money.
The supply chain trying to get materials and the cost of lumber, the increased cost that happened out of the blue. These things
are all added.
They're all added, especially now, because
happens.
everybody's been through it. So this is, so when you're talking about the borrowers or the buyers, this saves time and money. Okay. It also, you're not settling with new construction. You can really get the home of your dreams. Also, you're only putting down 5%, a low down payment. There's one approval instead of multiple approvals. So there's no need for a second appraisal or a second approval. The appraisal is done based off the plans originally. Then you have a float down option. The float down option. Once the loan's complete, the borrowers can float down to secure a lower interest rate if the market changes, or stay locked in, and no matter what, you're in a good spot. Interest-only payments, also, I don't know if I talked about that, but interest-only payments, they're throughout the build period. So throughout that time period, the borrower can enjoy a lower interest-only payment, and then just less out-of-pocket expenses for the borrower. The borrower doesn't have to pay for the build and then get the mortgage. The mortgage pays for the build.
It's really smart and sophisticated program, and by sophisticated I don't mean to say confusing, because it really makes sense from a lot of perspectives, from the access to the market with the low down payment, the one-time close opportunity to create certainty with everyone involved, and the draw payments that the contractor can keep its workforce employed and its supplies on hand while the borrower is making manageable interest-only payments until that home is complete. It just makes a lot of sense, and we're really excited to be able to offer it now. This is something that's been missing in recent times, and I think it really has a chance to create significant momentum and opportunity for everyone involved in the industry. We can walk you through it. We can walk your builder through it, your agent. Certainly, we encourage people to call us and talk about it. I think it'll be a simple process to manage.
Yeah, and as a real estate agent, it's a tool to be able to offer your clients an alternative in a market like this. And the loan still closes, like I said, before the construction begins, but it closes on the total purchase price. So that's the land plus the building cost. So anybody involved, say a real estate agent, they're going to get closed and paid before the construction even begins on the home. Everything's secured. It's a great solution for certain home buyers in the right circumstances. So,
it's not the same amortization. I'm trying to find this. If you have it pulled up anywhere, but
for what?
the amortization for the interest only isn't like the same as an interest only payment for a 30-year mortgage or something like that.
Well, also you're only paying on the amount that was drawn.
Right.
So at the beginning it's going to be less, and it'll keep getting more until you get that full draw period.
Yes, because I saw something that was basically like, if it was a $250,000 house, you like divide that by 2, multiply it by a certain amount. Anyway, it came out to like $675 was what the payment was with the going rate. Mm-hmm. So it's $225,000 loan. Your interest only payments were coming up to $600. I think they take half of what it is. I think they take half of the amount. And that's what your interest-only payments are based on. So it's not like an interest-only payment based on the whole thing. And so you think if it was a $675 monthly payment for $225, so if you would go $450, we're talking a $1,250 payment during the construction process. Mm-hmm. So $1,250 is much more attainable than the $2,500 in interest you'll pay on a 30-year $400,000 house. But if you have, during that process, you're paying $1,250 is something that's no problem for a $400,000, like while it's being built. And it's locked in. You get to customize it. And no, again, I can't wait to see it more. We haven't got to the point where we're multiple. It's a brand new program that just came out. We're probably one of the biggest advocates telling people about it right now. Once we really see how it's going to affect the actual purchase price, I'm thinking that we're going to get some steals out here. I'm thinking we're going to get some really good deals. Some general contractors that might be newer that aren't going to, they don't have to put so much risk in the price. I'm thinking that it could really help provide you with the tool to get an even better deal, and it's where you want it, where you want that house to be. I think it's beneficial for everybody involved, no doubt. I mean, I don't want to like take away from what the builders are doing. You got to understand that you would do the same thing if you were a builder. You're going to put in risk. And guess what? You're going to put in material cost risk. You're going to put in labor risk. You're going to put in insurance risk. All these risks that they're taking on, you're going to put that in, whether the prices really do go up to that risk point, or what happens when lumber prices crash and go way low, but that risk is still going to be in there. They're going to keep that in there as the market progresses, as they learn, oh, shoot, it can fluctuate that much. Well, we need to start putting this much in. Mm-hmm. This is the kind of thing where it is what it is. You have to provide, the builder and the general contractor has to basically provide what the material costs are of this project. Mm-hmm. And the buyer and the general contractor have to sign off on that contract of what it is. Then there's markup for the general contracting services, and it has to be in line of kind of what's the going markup of the industry. So you're going to see cost, literal cost breakdown of what it is costing to build that home.
Well, and a lot of people too are just saying to themselves, I wish I could get a house in this area. Or I wish I could do this. It's an outlet for it, and it's realistic and it's achievable.
Yeah, like we said at the outset, this is a one way to create inventory, increase inventory. Just create it yourself. What a great opportunity, and we know, we're St. Louis guys. A lot of great places. It's not obviously anywhere in Missouri is available to us, but a lot of great locations in St. Louis to just buy some dirt, put up a house. This is a great product. It's kind of fun because we've done this podcast for a few weeks now with. We don't even have to think about what the topic should be because they're coming to us. These topics are so timely right now, especially as we enter the spring, the easy time for building. This is a great time to take advantage of this brand new product.
Oh yeah, and I want to make it very clear, we are ready to take on the job with you. I mean, our name is Pinnacle Real Estate Advisor. We're advising on different programs that are out there, and we want, if there's somebody that has the ability that says, hey man, I could qualify for a home right now. It's just their lack of inventory. It's really not what I want. But I know that there's a lot in Kirkwood right now for $150,000 that's a half-acre lot, but I have no idea where to start. I mean, if you could build me a $350,000 house on that and I can wrap in the lot for $150,000 in the same loan, and you can help me with the general contractor and make that project happen for me, I'm all in. Well, I mean, that's what we're saying. We're basically saying reach out to us if you're a builder that wants to get going on some projects, but can only do one house at a time until it's freed up back from the sale. Call us. You can have multiple. Maybe you have multiple buyers, but you can only do one at a time. Call us, and we'll see if we can work with you on that project.
Yeah, and also you said the website. Our website is thepinnacleloans.com.
Simple, short and simple.
Thepinnacleloans.com, and so there's lots to talk about this program. But we want to get a general synopsis out there, so to give an overview of everyone who is interested in it. So we'll wrap it up with that. Listen, this is the one-time close new construction loan, and it provides a faster, easier way to help buyers get into the dream home they want. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We'll come out with these weekly at a minimum, and we look forward to talking to everybody again soon.
Well, we do want to mention St. Louis City. St. Louis City's home opener, I hope everybody knows. March 4th, my birthday, 43 years old. March 4th, 7:30, big, huge block party. Parking's going to be an issue. Good luck.
And since we won game one, I don't know if we're going to get the same odds that we got last time. I think it was 950. It was 9-1. So you could have put up $100 on game one to win what Pete? 950 or something?
Yeah.
Hey,
900.
even better.
We're not going to get those same odds because they won on the second game, but who knows?
Well, it's Charlotte. I've never heard of Charlotte.
I won't go into the odds.
Charlotte lost to New England? Charlotte lost to New England, but I will say this: it was 1-0. New England is pretty good.
It's a good team.
I think so, but I'll say they played in front of 70,000 fans.
Oh, I can't believe their stadium's that big.
70,000 fans. It was New England
Get
against
yourself
Charlotte
downtown.
But it's gonna seem like there's a million fans
And as
at
usual,
City
you'll
Park.
see,
It'll be way louder
you'll see
at City Park.
a couple of the Pinnacle guys, front row in the end section.
Yeah, we'll be there. The wife said not to give out the section just in case.
A lot of people looking for you.
Yeah, a lot of in case. But you'll see us on TV and stuff. I'm visualizing just heckling someone going over the corner kicking and a guy actually jumping into the stands, and then me possibly, maybe just leveling him with a haymaker, and they're gonna have it on ESPN of what happened, and maybe I'll be known for it. I think it's St. Louis is okay with that.
About time.
Sincerely,
the guy tried to tackle
sincerely,
me.
good
He
luck.
attacked me.
Good luck to the boys
Yeah.
of City SC.
Absolutely.
I loved him. Thank you so much for the win.
Signing off.
Never forget that.
See you guys.
Sounds strange.